What's up, y'all? I'm gonna show you how I cook my steaks or how I make my steaks. You can do it tons of different ways. You can use different types of steaks. Of course, different types of steaks can be cooked differently. Today I'm using filet mignon because it's delicious and it's tender. And yeah, so I'm gonna show you what I do. Okay, make sure your stove is set to about medium. I put it at a 4 because this is a gas stove, so it works pretty good. It's actually too good. The idea is to sear the steak first, because you don't want to fully cook it, right? So you want to sear the edges, right, and the sides, and then I'll show you what I do after that. So you want to go ahead and put some olive oil in the pan, to kind of spread around a little bit, you know, kind of get it not too much. And spread it around, it's all even, all good. Heck yes, it is looking fantastic. Get a little solid coating on there, right? It's very important, guys. Very important, guys. You want to lay the steak away from you. I should have turned my handle, but it's okay, because I'm really pressed for time. Away from me. It's the back of the pan, so that way you can go ahead and cook the back of the steak. So what I usually like to do is sear each side for about 3 minutes. The sides I only do for about a minute, if that, really, because you don't want to do it too much, because that's what the oven's going to be for. Tongs, very important. So flip that bad boy over. We'll get to the sides in a second. And yes, you're cooking steak, it will spit at you. Okay, so since I have 2 pans, I will go ahead and get my second one going. Same process as the first pan. You can't see this other pan that's closest to you guys, but it's here. I'm not just pouring olive oil all over my stove. That bad boy going. So now that I've gotten both sides in, time to go ahead and do the actual sides themselves. So these steaks are pretty thick, so I can just lay it down without having to stay here and get spit at. Side one. Literally the side. So what I like to do is, because I'm pressed for time, so I'm going to go ahead and set my oven to 400 degrees. I'm going to preheat and put these steaks into the oven, and I'll show you that in just a second. This is where it gets really important, guys. So now that I've seared it pretty nicely, I would say. Woo! A lot of smoke coming off that baby. Look at that. Turn the heat down a little bit, okay? Because again, you don't want to overdo it. Butter. I usually do butter on either side of the steak, the front and the back. That butter will go ahead and spread around, depending on what pan you have. Okay. So you got to baste it. Baste it. Excellent. Excellent stuff. Excellent stuff. Let's baste that baby. Baste. Baste. Woo. Excellent. Okay, looking good. Looking good. Let's grab my sheet. Now that the steak is now good, put that off the burner. And I can actually already put it on my cooking sheet here to let it rest for a little sec, for like a tiny bit. I will be putting 4 in the oven here, so Set those aside. Set these aside for right now. Working on the other two. Be done in a second. Come on. Oh, what are you? Oh, you donut. Oh, what are you doing? Come here. Really? Really? Taste this bad boy. Oh my lord. That was so damn good. Ow, that burned. Ow, that burned. Ow. Whew, that burns so good. I love when the oil spits at me. Okay, so people have asked me in the past why I don't use like thyme or actual garlic, as part of roasting within the pan, like with the steak. And I have in the past, but just over time, the kind of seasonings that I use with like the salt, the pepper, and even so, like I have like paste, like actual like, fresh like garlic paste I'll utilize as part of the seasoning, and I'll rub the steak with that, and it tastes just as good. If not, sometimes honestly, it tastes better. But again, that's not, I wouldn't say that's the most common way to do it. I just have learned to do that over time and actually like the taste more over time with doing it that way. But again, you don't have to do it that way if you don't want to. But yeah, that's why. Woo. Moment of truth, y'all. Opening oven. Oh, yeah. Holy moly. This looks so damn good. Woo! That looks good. That looks good. Okay, so normally you would transfer these over to like an actual, wood board to let them rest. But I'm just transferring over onto a plate. So that way, just have them on a plate as opposed to dirtying another big freaking cutting board. They're all dirty anyway right now. Oh, look at that. Look at that. And let them rest for a little bit. I usually let them rest for about 10 minutes. Okay. So now that they've rested for a little bit, let me go ahead and transfer one of the steaks over. Shake. Don't be alarmed by all the red stuff. Let's go ahead and cut into this bad boy. Again, it's filet mignon, so you're not supposed to freaking overcook it, man. Overdid it just a tad, but that happens. All should be even. I'm going to take a middle piece and piece. That's how it's looking, guys. I would say that's some pretty damn good steak, guys. And that was cooked beautifully. Get a close up. That's what it looks like, guys. Right at medium. It's not overdone and it's not too raw. And that's how you cook a steak.